Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and welcome back to another episode of our large painting. Now this time we're going to really work on a lot of beautiful details and highlights, and of course a couple of large trees. And if you're enjoying this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. If you guys really seem to enjoy it, we'll go ahead and finish up next week. Alright, let's get started. We'll start off today here with our little 3/4 brush and some brown and black. And right up here, I've decided, really because of the reference painting, that we've got to have a tree right here. And I'm going to go all the way down here. I'm just drawing it in, basically. There, and it does lean, which I really like. I love that leaning part. I don't know how much I want it to lean, and I can kind of figure that out as I go. I'm actually going to need to stand over here in front. There. When I paint off to the side with something this big, I have no idea what's going on. A little painting, I can get away with it. Not so much on a big painting, so I'm going to run it all the way down. Let's work up here on the top a bit. Just drag it right down. Now the thickness, I want it to be just a little thicker than the center evergreen tree, the one that's near the middle. There, just a bit thicker, not a lot thicker, just a bit thicker. It's got to be substantial enough though that it looks like it should be here. Again, I'll hold down my canvas. There, so I'm going to build this tree up and then I'll come right back and I'll show you how to do the big leaves or the pine needles. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix up some clear gel and our brown and black. The reason I'm going to do that is it helps to thin it down. It's on the detail round brush here. And obviously this is something that's not normal. I would never ever recommend thinning the paint down on the detail brush. I would never tell you to do that because it can turn to mud. The liner brush is about the only one I would like to, thin the paint down with at the very end of the painting, of course, not before. But this is something that's different. This is something that's already dry up here. The sky is dry. And I would just get nothing but a rough texture if I tried to do this. As it is when the background is wet, sometimes I get kind of that scratchy texture. But because the background is dry, I would no doubt get a scratchy texture. So I don't want that. There. I'm just going to see I'm holding my brush way at the back. That's good. Otherwise you get kind of regular looking limbs instead of irregular. There. And of course you could use the liner brush, but I want them thicker than that. We'll get out the liner brush later. They need to be fairly long, actually. There. Now with mostly green on the brush, really just green, some sap green right out of the tube, I'm just going to throw that on this tree. Normally you can't do that because it's too transparent of a color and you want to mix it with blue or black, but because we got a dry background, it's not going to mix with anything. So if it's a little transparent, it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be too strong. Normally the transparent colors have a tendency to kind of mix and then get lost. Well, no worries about that. There we go. And what shows through looks like a little bit of mid-tone without having to do anything, which is a bonus, right? Now I want to do a lot of negative space. You guys know about that. I'm actually using the texture of the canvas here, the smooth, well, it's not that smooth, the kind of rough texture of the canvas to create these little effects. See that? But they're very small because the canvas is small, so it's good. Well, the canvas weave is small as compared to the size. That's what I'm trying to say. There. The point is, it gives me a really small and tight effect, which looks like little detailed evergreen needles and stuff. Now, a couple of these do need to wrap over the tree trunk, which I'll do right here. I want this side to be a little more bare, just for the sake of, making it look a little different, changing it up a bit. The more paint you put on, the darker it'll be. The less paint, sort of the more little details you'll get, and the softer and more transparent it will look. Okay, again, I want to leave that area pretty much blank and jump right down here. What do you think? Maybe this one needs some? I think so. I really want to preserve a lot of our limbs, so I'm putting the green over. Now down here, you maybe want it to be a little darker. There. Now I'll load up on the detail round some yellow and touch of green. What this is going to do is give us a beautiful soft highlight, at least an initial highlight here. Obviously, we don't just use one highlight color. That's kind of weak. We can do better. We use several highlight colors because that gives us a very, very natural, realistic look. I mean, just look around in the world. There's not just one color in things. There's like 12 colors in things. 20 colors, whatever. Lots and lots of color. So sometime look at some trees and some objects and just count the different colors. I'm not talking about just shades, just color. There's a lot of shades. I mean, wow, millions of shades and things, right? But here's some more golden color. But you got to throw all these colors in blues and grays and browns. All these exist in here, and I'm going to try to put a few of them in at least, because that'll help to make this large tree come closer. And what that'll do is it'll set our background trees further away, because we put a lot of detail in the background trees as well, at least some of them. Actually, speaking of those background trees, I think we should probably go there next and finish those guys up. We kind of ignored them for a little while. There. This is going on pretty easy. Just layering on this color. I don't really care if it mixes too much. We can always apply a final highlight next time. There. Now we're going to go ahead and just drop in a little bit of highlight to a few of these trees, on the trunk at least. Now, what this is going to do is kind of pull them forward. See, we don't want them all ending here on this tree line. That would be kind of bad. So actually, let me get a little darker color here. So we're going to have several of them. See, just take them and drag them down. You know, if you don't want them this short, you know, if you want to make them a little taller, you can. But a lot of them, just grab these taller ones, just bring them down. They don't have to come all the way down. It doesn't have to be perfect. There, yeah, just throw in a little dark. Good stuff. I'm actually going to do the light first, because the light shows up better than the dark, so I'll just throw in afterward. You know, we can do a dead one. Oh yes, we can, right here. A dead one. We can get away with something like that pretty easily, I think. It won't be a big deal. You know, we'll put a dark behind it, and make sure that they all end at different points. There. Good stuff. Maybe there's one behind. So I'm going to just repeat this over and over again. You can see I threw a little highlight on the big tree using the same exact brush stroke. There. Yes, especially these taller ones. That helps to bring them forward. Now with a little bit of white and just a touch of blue in the white on the detail round, I'm going to go ahead and just finally throw some highlight up here. Now we got to really just kind of think for a few minutes about how you want your waterfall shaped. On this particular one, it's kind of far away, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of detail to it. The lighting is more important than the detail on this one. There. But obviously, you know, each waterfall is different, and you may find yourself in a different situation. That's great. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference. There. I do like the idea of tinting my white so that it's not so glaringly white. Ordinarily not a big fan of tinting colors because kind of pointless when you paint all in one day, but when you break it up into several days, is a big point. That's very important. You gotta tint your white because you don't want pure white on your canvas. You want variations of white. Ordinarily not a problem because it just mix with whatever is on the canvas, and you know, you can never get pure white when you're working wet, but when you're working dry, you can have pure white and it can look really harsh. So anyways, that's my thought there. I will drag down, leaving these little streakies. See that? This is all dry, so even this is dry. I don't care if we have to repaint the tree. That's the least of my worries. There, good stuff. Beautiful, and it's very important that it fades off. So let me go ahead, I'm just going to grab a little more white and throw just a touch of a little bit brighter white, still not pure, but a little brighter. Yes. Oh, wow. Kind of blend anything that needs blending. Okay, I'm going to work on that more, but that's just kind of the beginnings. Let's go over here. Pull straight down. It's okay if you want to leave a little of the texture of the canvas showing through. That's probably okay. Not too much. Now, as you can see here, I've thrown just a little bit of blue down here, and that just helps to create a little bit of extra water, because this water needs a way to get down here, but I didn't want it to be mirrored, so I had to play around with that for just a little while to make it right. Otherwise, it was just not quite working out. Of course, I had that kind of planned for a couple of weeks now. I just hadn't had a chance to do it. But it did take a little bit of playing to kind of get the shape right. This is just a quick sketch with color. There. We'll come back and detail this out just like we did the other one. But right now I'm just slicing in some light. So as you can see, we've got our rock formation here, and the light kind of comes across. Maybe this is a shadow area, but then it comes into light. I also put my palette down. I was getting tired of holding it all day. And you can do that. Even when you paint just the small paintings, you can be flexible with, you got to make yourself comfortable. There. Okay, maybe a little slice of light right there. Now I can come back and, replace any of this, change it as I go. May or may not keep every last highlight that we put in here. I just got to get something started at least. There. Nice. Good stuff. Maybe a little, sliver there, touch a bit right there. Good. Nice. I'm going to step back and then make a choice as to how far I need to go with this. Now I'm going to spend the next few minutes up here dropping in some grass. I've got, of course, my fan brush, and I'm slamming it down just like we always do. Difference is, I get to do it a little bigger. Yep, just a little bigger. All right. Now, obviously this is dry because we painted that last week. So it's dry. And what we're going to do is probably have to come back and drop in our darks over this because this is not blending the way it normally would. I usually rely on the wet paint to kind of give me soft edges on the bottom when I do this technique. So we're going to have to add the paint back on, which is not a big deal. We can easily do that. Now I don't want to go overboard with this. The good news is, like I said, we're coming back with the darks, so I can easily tone down anywhere that maybe gets a little too hard or too bright. That's good. So I'm going to be actually very, very loose when I do this because a lot of it can just simply disappear. All right, large grasses. We're even going to come in here way larger. We're even going to come in here with our liner brush. Although, I don't want them like huge. I want them proportional. There. Good. And let's just keep sliding over here. Throw some grass down on here. We'll have to put the darks in. There's not a lot of wet, dark oil paint down. There's a little, but not a lot. There, I want more. Okay, good. And even slide some of this color just for the sake of having color back there. All right, well, that's as far as we're going to get today, but it looks like next time we're going to be able to finish it up. So if you're excited to see that, be sure to leave a like and let me know, and we'll go ahead and do that next week. Of course, don't forget to check out the website, the DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.